Algebra 2 students, this is an additional lecture on systems of equations, specifically dealing with some word problems that you're going to see on the section 3.1 and 3.2 quiz. There will be two word problems on that quiz of this variety. One of them I call a riddle type problem, where it's like, hey, there's a small number and a large number, and twice the smaller number is equal to, and you have to find out those two numbers. And the other one is more like a situational problem. And you generally, a lot of times they're dealing with money, and you have to tell me how many of a certain number of tickets or something was sold. So I'm going to go over one of each of those right now. I do have a worksheet that is on Schoology that deals with these has both. They're mixed up. There's some riddle type questions and some like what I call the situational type questions. These are two questions taken from that worksheet. First one, a group of students go out to lunch. If two of the students have burritos and 5 of them have tacos, the bill will be $19.50. So that is all of these questions are going to look to create a system of equations. That's going to be two different equations that describe the situation. Generally, they're going to be separated by a period, right? One sentence is going to be one equation. So if 2 have burritos and 5 have tacos, the bill will be $19.50. So generally, I try to use variables that associate with the word problem, the situation. So this would be if 2 of them have burritos and 5 of them have tacos, the bill will be $19.50, right? That is one of the equations, and that would be the equation for this sentence. Sentence number 2, if 5 of them have burritos and 2 of them have tacos, the bill will be $22.50. Now we have a system of equations that, given that we know how to do section 3.2 in our textbook, we know how to solve this system of equations, hopefully. This looks well set up for the elimination method. Right now, for example, my b's do not have the same coefficient, but I could multiply them so that they do. I could multiply them both to equal 10. In order to do so, I'm going to multiply this one by 5. That would give me 10b plus 25t is equal to whatever 1950 times 5 is. And 1950 times 5 is 9750. I'm going to multiply this second equation by -2. Remember, the reason I'm multiplying it by a negative is because I want them to have the same coefficient, but one be positive and one be negative. And if I multiply this by -2, that will give me -10b minus 4t is equal to whatever 22.5 times -2 is, which is -45. Like I said, we wanted one of the coefficients. In this case, we chose b to be the same coefficient, but one positive and one negative, and now we have that. We're just going to go ahead and add these equations now. The b's cancel or eliminate, hence the name elimination. These will add to 21t, and 97.5 minus 45 is 5250. Divide that by 21, and we get the price of a taco. A taco is $2.50. Once we know that, we can plug that back in to either one of our equations. I'll just choose the top one. So I'm going to plug 250 in for t. 2b plus 5 times 2.5 is equal to 1950. 2b is equal to whatever 5 times 2.5 is, which of course is 1250. 2b plus 1250 is equal to 1950. Subtract the 1250 over, we get 7 is equal to 2b, so b is equal to 350. With these word problems, I am going to ask that you would say, hey, the price of a taco is $2.50, kind of like back in terms of the problem. The price of a burrito is $3.50. This really shows that you understand what's going on, right? We just found out the price of a taco, $2.50, the price of a burrito, $3.50. We should be able to check this pretty easily, going back into our word problem and making sure that that works. For our second example, the larger of two numbers is 8 more than twice the smaller, and the sum of the two numbers is 10 less than 3 times the larger. Find the numbers. I refer to these as the riddle problems. You'll hear this. You'll hear me say this in class, I'm sure. Generally, what I try to do is I, once again, associate the two numbers with terms, with variables that are indicative of what they are. I'm going to use L to represent the larger number, and I'm going to use S to represent the smaller number. So what this problem states is that the larger of the two numbers is, I want you to think of an equal sign. So the larger of the two numbers is larger number equals. And then I'm going to go on to this other side of the equal sign, 8 more than twice the smaller. So we could say 8 plus 2 times the smaller number, or you could also have written 2s plus 8, right? If you rearrange that, that would be this first sentence. And then I'm going to try to write the second sentence. The sum of the numbers is, remember that is your indication for an equal sign. So the sum of the numbers, well, the sum, there's two numbers, S and L, right? We're going to add them up. S plus L is, that's this half. Now I'm going to write the other side of the equal sign, 10 less than 3 times the larger. 10 less than, that's something that always goes at the end, minus 10. And we would have 3 times the larger. This is 10 less than 3 times the larger number. On all of your quizzes, you're going to get 2 points for each one of these questions, 1 point for properly setting up the equation, the system, and then 1 point for properly solving them from here. I'm going to use substitution in this example, and L is already solved for. It's already by itself. So I'm going to substitute 8 plus 2s anywhere where there is an L. That'll give me s plus 8 plus 2s, right? If I'm substituting this in for that L and that L, is equal to 3 times 8 plus 2s minus 10. I'm going to go ahead and solve this. I no longer have any L. You'll see here, they're just a bunch of the variable s, the smaller number. This left side is going to be 8 plus 3s, because s plus 2s is 3s, is equal to, I guess, 24 plus 6s minus 10, distributing there. I'll combine those two to make 8 plus 3s is equal to 14 plus 6s. Carrying on, minus 3s, minus 3s. So I'm going to get a 3s over here, and I'm going to subtract a 14 to get negative 6. So s is equal to negative 2. That smaller number, hopefully, is negative 2. Let's go ahead and use that to get the larger number. If I plug in a negative 2 here, I would have the larger number is 8 plus 2 times negative 2. The larger number is 4. So the larger number is 4, and the smaller number is negative 2. Please ask if you guys have any questions on this. I know that students a lot of times struggle with word problems, but hopefully this gets you started and you continue to try those examples in that worksheet. Thank you.